I said, what side of history will you be on? And let me tell you something. I am so proud of all of you because all of us right here are on the right side.
I don't think that the activism of our generation has been apparent since like the 60s, when we had the flurry of social movements from civil rights to anti-war, to women's movements, to gay liberation movements. I think that our generation is the new counter-revolution. All massive social changes throughout American history have been led by movements of young people. And that's what we're witnessing right now. Because the ballot box, frankly, is the last thing to move when we talk about social movements.
Historically, voting is not a young person's game. People 18 to 24 have consistently voted at lower rates than older people. But from marches on Washington to climate change walkouts, Gen Zs showed up. But will that translate on Election Day?
When we talk about the ballot box versus going on the street, it's really a conversation of how they go together.
JP's taking a gap year to work with the Sunrise Movement, a youth-led organization working to end climate change.
The folks on the ground are creating the conversations that end up at the ballot. But yeah, I do think that Gen Z is going to show up to the polls.
Hello, everybody! We've got the SCOTUS squad here. We are so excited!
I don't think that I would use the word passive for any Gen Zer. This generation, there's something about us that makes us fighters.
Autumn has been with Students for Life, an anti-abortion group, since she was 16. She says conservative activists show up just as much as liberal ones.
I think a common misconception about the pro-life movement is that it's all old white men. But that's actually false. We call ourselves the pro-life generation because there are thousands of me across the nation using their voice to speak up for the preborn, people a part of my generation. And I think that voting is a way that we can really make a huge change.
According to Circle, a research org focused on youth civic engagement, just over half of young people identify with a political party, with 36% affiliating with the Democratic Party and 21% aligning with Republicans. But in the last 4 years, the number of young people who say they've attended a march or demonstration is up more than 20%.
I'm 19, and a lot of us are literally out of work. We're out of school right now. We're at home with our parents, like living in uncertainty because we feel like we're being let down by this country, this administration. And I think young people definitely have a clue of what they want next.
Bria's worked with March for Our Lives since 2018 and says it can be a lot of pressure.
I would always feel uncomfortable when like older people after conversations or panels or just talkbacks that we do would come up to us and be like, I can sleep easier, like your generation's gonna save us. Like I call it like a little subtle microaggression because I don't think that that's a compliment. I think it's more of like, you're giving up, like you're still alive. You can still continuously contribute to our liberation. You can still go out and vote.
Circle says 50% of young people say they've tried to convince other people their age to vote, and 25% say they've registered people to vote this year.
Voting absolutely makes a difference, but having those heart-to-heart conversations with people in our communities, in our friend groups, our social media platforms, we need to utilize all the outlets to really actually see a change.
It is our future and the countless futures of others that I am fighting for.
I have been out on the streets and lobbying elected officials since I was 16. And now that I know that I can step into the ballot box, makes me feel like I've just gained a lot more power.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.